Hello my fellow art lovers and welcome to KayJayComicArt. KJ here bringing you part 2 of my 200 subscriber special. In this one I want to do something a little different since I asked for your input in my last video. One of you wanted me to start telling personal stories about myself, so I thought I'd do that. Of course it'll remain an art channel, so all of my stories will revolve around my career in art. That word keeps tripping me up for some reason. Revolve. Okay, let me continue. So I think the best story to start with would be how I got into art to begin with, right? Okay, I've been drawing my whole life. I can't remember a time I wasn't drawing. However, it was always just a hobby to me as I grew up. I was influenced a lot by Pokemon and became a very creative child because of it. When I was 11, I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds because there was nothing else on to watch on TV, and at first I didn't like it because at the time I didn't watch a lot of anime. Ugh, spooky. But after a few episodes, I was hooked to the series and I kept watching it each week every time there was a new episode. Sadly, the English dub for 5Ds was cancelled due to the violence in the series and the fact that 4Kids sucked at dubbing cartoons. If you're a 90s child, you know what I'm talking about. That first series of Pokemon was good, but their rendition of Yu-Gi-Oh! And 5Ds and all that, they were awful. That's when I started watching the subbed version of 5D so I could keep up with the new episodes. The sub was far better than the dub, in my opinion, and I was even more engrossed in the story than I was before. I spent years drawing screenshots from the anime and eventually went to college for art, though at the time I didn't really know if I wanted a career in art. It was just better than not doing anything, and it was my favourite subject, so I went, you know what, I'll do art in college, and then figure it out from there. And I continued to draw anime in the background. When I was 17, I made my first social media account on DeviantArt and started posting my drawings there. I received a lot of positive feedback and some negative feedback, but it made me realise that I had the potential to go into the art business. So I started looking into becoming a concept artist for Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd wanted to be a concept artist for years. There's something I wanted to do for longer than that involves art, but I'll get to that later. I just can't pinpoint when I decided I wanted to be a concept artist, nor when I wanted to be the other thing. I just know that I've always wanted to in some way, but the DeviantArt thing just cemented it in my mind. I spent the entirety of college with this mindset until it was time to apply for university. I read up on the course I wanted, but on the same page, literally on the left-hand side of the concept art course, was the course for comics at the same university, and I immediately just froze up. I was just like, what do I do? What do I do now? So I called my mum. Because, you see, longer than I wanted to be a concept artist, since I was a child, I've always wanted to be a manga artist. Longer than I've wanted to be a concept artist, in fact. But because comics weren't really respectable back then as they are now, I had pushed it to the back of my mind. I ended up calling my mum, like I just mentioned. Sorry, I got a bit confused with my script. And asked her what she would do, because I was genuinely stuck. I asked her if she would take the safe route and get a degree in something that could guarantee a career, potentially, or take a big risk and follow my dreams in hopes of making it someday. Because, like I said, comics wasn't really as respectable. It was slowly building at this point, but it wasn't at the level it is now where everyone loves comics. She told me that she would honestly follow her dreams because it'd make her happier. And that would, in turn, if I followed my dreams, it would make me happier. And I decided then and there to go to university for a comic degree rather than a concept art degree. I also had been making comics since I was 9 years old, so that probably factored into my decision a little bit. Now here I am, 4 years later, with a bachelor's and master's in comic creation and a wonderful channel with wonderful subscribers who want to see my work. No, I'm not making enough money to sustain myself yet, but I haven't gotten my first comic published yet, so I'm not worried. But I would never have chosen to create art for a living if I hadn't joined DeviantArt all those years ago. Thank you so much for all your support. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you, and I couldn't be happier. Anyway, that's enough out of me, I think. I apologise if this was a jumbled mess. I've never written a story for YouTube before. Like, that wasn't written by someone else. Like, I've done a voiceover for a story once, but that's it. But I hope it was still entertaining, and I hope it wasn't as confusing as it sounded in my head. I'm going to play some music for the rest of this video, but feel free to mute it for your own music. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story and the drawing alongside it. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with my content, and I'll see you next week for part 3.